The first battle was a huge success and there's a lot of votes for a particular brand, but now is the battle 2 between Hemke and V16. Hey everybody, it's your friendly neighborhood saxophone Alex here. The second battle has finally come between Vandoren V16 and Hemke. Now the moment you've all been waiting for, the winner of the first battle between the Boston Sax Shop reeds and Java Green reeds is the Boston Sax Shop reeds. So congratulations Boston Sax Shop reeds, they will be advancing to the next round. But enough about that. We are focusing on V16 and Hemke. Two great reeds that I've had the opportunity to have right in front of you so that we can battle them against each other. So first things first, I want to check out the presentation and see how both of them look. We have our V16 reeds. They are exactly the same packaging as the Java Green. They have the plastic wrap with this nice little flap to allow you to open the plastic encasing. So again, this is kind of like nice matte feeling, and then it has the brand name V16, and on the side it has the Alto saxophone logo indicating that this is for alto sax. And on the top you see the strength of the reed. Of course, again, just like the Java reeds, they have the description of the reeds and the humidity levels and everything about the product on the back of the box. The Hemke reeds, same thing. They have this plastic wrap with a flap as well, so nice. Ooh, the texture of this is a little different. It's kind of more papery. I don't know how to describe it, but it's nice. I like it. You can see the logo on the front where it says Hemke and then a little saxophone, which I don't think is indicative of whether it's a tenor or an alto. It's probably just a generic saxophone cartoon logo thing, but it's nice. It has the strength of the reed on top and then the indication where it says alto saxophone right below that. On the back, which is really interesting, you can read about the elegant tone of the Hemke reeds, and it gives a little description of that, and then below that it gives you a visualization of the reed and what they did specifically to file it and what parts of the reed to look out for. Okay, we will now unbox the first reed for V16. Again, we have this paper with a bunch of languages describing the product and other things promoting Vandoren in general. And you also have the humidity levels that are ideal for each Vandoren reed. And then the first reed. So as opposed to the Java Greens in our last video, this is a darker green and it has the V16 logo on the plastic cover. It also has the indication of the type of saxophone, and on the back it gives you the strength of reed. So I will unwrap the reed. And it comes in this like hard plastic cover thing for the reed. I don't even know what these things are called. Standard reed, you can see the file, specifically what it is in a light, and you can see that that's the Vandoren logo, the superior stamp of approval with the serial number on top, and then the V16 and the strength of the reed on the bottom. For the Hemke, I'll open the box. I hope this isn't like the Boston Sax Shop box where it was hard to open. Probably because I'm not bright in that box opening. I wasn't in school when they taught you how to open boxes, apparently. Oh my god. Is there something wrong? Did I miss something? Ugh, I had to break this box, so not really cool. Okay, and it's pretty tightly packed, just like the Boston Sax Shop reed. Not as much, so I could open and get a read out with no problem. Oh, this is a pretty cool design for a plastic hard reed cover. Kind of looks like a Hot Wheels car. You can see the Frederick L. Hemke stamp right there and the strength of the reed. All right, so the time has come. I'm going to try out both of the reeds and give them a bunch of tests to see how well they do against each other. So sit back, relax, and I'll see you in a bit. All right, I'm going to try out the V16 first. All right, so I have my V16 ready to go, and I will play the melody to Body and Soul. My initial thoughts were that it's nice. It's not too bright. It's not too dark. I do believe that I could experiment with some other reeds in the box, but it's really nice. It's free blowing. There's no resistance in there. I did notice that in the higher registers, specifically in high G and up, it was a little thin. I would have to test that out with a range test later on, but that's just something that I see. I haven't tried the low range yet, but we'll get to that. All right, with my handy dandy iPhone, we're going to test out the intonation and see how well it does in all of the ranges. Okay, so I see that the lower range for this reed is very flat, but it gets in tune when you get to the middle C range and upwards. Going to the high register, it was actually very in tune. It was probably the most in tune reed I've had so far between Java, Boston Sax Shop, and this one. We haven't tried out Hemke yet, but so far, this one's the leader in terms of intonation. All right, I'm going to test out the low range and the high range to see how well it does in the extreme ranges. I didn't even have to try to lip up or anything. That was excellent. The only thing about the low range though was that between low D and low E flat, low E in that area was very muffled. Everything else was perfect. The altissimo range was extraordinarily good. I did not have a problem at all. In fact, I think I was thinking more about the fingerings and what better intonation fingerings I could get than being scared that the note wouldn't be produced. It was awesome. In terms of resistance, there doesn't seem to be any. I think that this reed is pretty much broken in, which is really rare to find a reed that you immediately find is ready and good to go with the tone that you want. No resistance in the low range, no resistance in the high range. Very good. All right, now moving on to the Hemke reed. Body and soul. My initial thoughts were that this is a very interesting tone that I get out of this reed. It's bright yet airy at the same time. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about this. And honestly, if I worked on this reed a little bit more, I feel like I could get the ideal tone. But initially, it's given me a lot of different characteristics, which is very versatile. I did feel some resistance at the beginning, especially in the middle range between C to low G, C to high G. That range felt a little bit clustered, a little bit muffled, but we would have to see that later on. In terms of intonation, it sounded very sharp in the higher register, and it sounded very flat in the lower register, which is typical of the reeds that we've already seen, except for the V16 for some reason. But we'll test that out. All right, intonation. The lower register is more in tune than the higher register, but when I went to high C and then high F, they were in tune. It's really in that mid-range, mid to high range where it gets a little out of sorts, but other than that, pretty in tune. Okay, now we're going to test out the extreme ranges, the altissimo range and the low range. Getting up to that altissimo range was not easy. The reed sounded very shrill, and at moments I had to redo it again just so that I could get a clear, altissimo range for you guys. But not good, not good. It was very shrill. Sometimes it would just cut out and not vibrate at all. It was super out of tune. I was looking at the tuner while I was doing this, and it was super sharp throughout every single note. And the lower register was not popping out as much as I wanted to. There was nothing wrong with the lower register. There was no muffler. There was no muffle in the lower register, but it just wasn't coming out as much as I would want it to. In terms of a resistance, I'm just like what I was talking about with the tone. It's bright yet muffly at the same time. I don't get that desired tone that I got with the V16 initially when I first put on the reed. So yeah. It's up to you now to vote which one you thought was better against each other. Was it V16 or was it Hemke? You decide. Comment down below and tell me, just V16 or Hemke, and I'll tally up the votes and the winner will be announced in my next video on Saturday. I hope you enjoyed this second battle of the tournament, and I know there's so many variables that make this tournament a little flawed, but it's for fun, and I just want all of you to hear these wonderful reeds. You know I like my coffee, and I can't have a video without one, so if you want to support me and my channel, buy me a coffee. Link is in the description down below. And with that, unfortunately, this battle has come to an end. But until next week, vote for which reed you want to win. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow me on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok for all your sax ed tips, jazz ed tips, and much, much more. Have a great Valentine's Day weekend and stay saxy.